Part of what we do in our work is study leadership, which we think about as social influence and a relationship with followers to motivate and inspire. We're also very concerned with the study of authority, which is the right to do work. It is acknowledging that a group, an entity has authorized us to be in a particular space to work in certain ways. Now, we talk about in our work how we take up that authority. And we believe that social identities impact how we take up that authority. We believe that who our followers are will impact that as well. It is important to think about the unconscious to understand the leader-followership relationship and to understand choices that we make as leaders and or thinking about how followers influence who we become in that role. So part of how we think about it too is that leadership and authority and that relationship with followership is processual, that it happens in a set of processes that are not clearly defined and must be understood by thinking about both what is conscious and what is unconscious. So choices such as who we hire, who we include or exclude, persons for whom we vote, who's on our board. Consciously, we have a name, we have a title, and we have a place for them to sit. But unconsciously, they occupy for us particular roles and services that they might perform on others' behalfs or in collaboration with us. So when we think about it in all those ways, it does get complicated. Who's in the room and who's not? Who is leading whom and who is exercising leadership and or authority in particular ways? So the unconscious helps us respond to those questions in ways that we hadn't thought about before.
So sometimes it scares people to think about the unconscious, but we don't get scared when we hear it as things that are outside of our awareness. But we're really talking about the same thing. So something that was said that you didn't really hear because you didn't pay attention to it or what have you would be something that, for example, rests outside of your awareness, or motivations that we have, things that we wanted that we almost couldn't let ourselves know about, right? That rests in this other space. So with my students, sometimes I'll start with calling it out of awareness dynamics and then move into describing it as unconscious dynamics, because I just think that everybody knows that there are things that we are not on top of, and that's not so scary. And then once you're not as afraid, right, you're open to learning something new.
When we talk about woke, we're not talking about it in the sort of contemporary meaning only. We're also talking about that sort of blend of consciousness on one hand and what is unconscious. If woke were only a static process, then that would be great. What we do in our work is we make it available as something that you study as an ongoing process. We have a collective responsibility to be woke in the sense of, what is it that I still do not understand about myself, my behavior, what I'm bringing forward in a group, in an organization, and in my most intimate relationships? We work together for quite some time, but yet we still discover things that bring us to consciousness. And it's often out of that deepest unconscious, uncomfortable space that we discover something new about who we are.